Today we're going to be doing another Australia reaction, this time about all the interesting and unique animals in the land down under.
That's one of the things you hear about Australia right away is they got a lot of animals, a lot of spooky animals actually. A lot
Yeah.
of everything's out there to kill you, but maybe in this video we'll learn a little bit different.
I know it's a thing that Aussies say is that actually our animals here aren't that dangerous, and North American animals are way more dangerous, like grizzly bears, mountain lions, moose, stuff like that. So let's see. This video, we don't really necessarily know what it's going to be about, but hopefully some of the weirder things like platypus and
Yeah, some unique species.
let's do it. Here we go.
When British scientists first discovered a platypus in 1799, they thought it was a joke. They said someone had sewn a duck's bill onto a beaver's body.
Ooh.
But they were wrong. It's just a flat out weird looking animal. But it's not the only one. So
What is
how
that?
did a flat out weird looking animal? But it's not the only
A mole thing? It's got to be some sort of mole, right? With a little like weird
Looks
little
like
hand
one.
thing.
What's a Tasmanian devil actually look like?
Could be that. I don't know.
one. So how did Australia become the land of
That's a
wacky
Tasmanian
animals?
devil, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a look at our mammals. Worldwide, there are three types of mammals. There's placentals, which are like us, there's monotremes, which lay eggs, and then there's marsupials, which have the little pouches.
Ew. It's not like in cartoons.
Most of the mammals in the world are placentals, but Australia is kind of different. We're the only continent on Earth with all
Dang.
three types, but also the only continent where marsupials dominate the landscape. So let's go back to where it all began. About 250 million years ago, Australia was part of a much bigger island called Gondwana. Gondwana contained most of the land in
Oh,
the southern
interesting.
hemisphere, and it also had plenty of wildlife.
I feel like we don't learn about that in the US, Gondwana. We just learn about like Pangea.
Yeah, because I don't see America on this
No,
list, so it doesn't
no.
matter in American schools anymore.
No Europe in there either, so.
And by America, I'm joking. Obviously, it shows South America here. I'm saying the US of A.
Yes.
Over time, Gondwana started breaking up. One by one, continents split, and about 40 to 50 million years ago, Australia was left on its own. This meant that all the animals that were on Australia and didn't have wings were now kind of stuck. And this is where things get interesting. See, while in the Gondwana days there were marsupials all over the place, pretty soon they started to disappear, and the placentals started to take their place. Except in Australia. That led scientists to think that
Weird.
maybe the marsupials were the only animals that got stuck here, and that's why they did so well. But one discovery kind of shook things up a little bit. Back in 1987, scientists discovered the fossil of a placental mammal in Queensland called Tingamara portororum. Say that 3 times fast. The scientists reckon it was living on Australia around the time it broke off, but it's pretty hard to pinpoint a date, and it might have just been one little placental living in a marsupial world. But anyway, over time the marsupials started to evolve into all different shapes and sizes.
Is that
And
thing?
because they were so marsupials
Very
started to
odd.
evolve into all different shapes.
It's a porcupine with a long nose.
What made the marsupials thrive in Australia specifically?
Yeah, a very like harsh, rough environment.
And sizes. And because they were so far away from anything else in the world, they evolved into
Kawaka!
something.
I want to go and see the dang kawakas wherever they are. I think they're in like a very small area in Australia.
And this is a wombat?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Pretty unique.
What are you doing in the big?
Around 100,000 years
What a
ago,
weird animal.
animals were big. And I mean real big. We had giant kangaroos known as Procoptodon that grew bigger
They're
than
already big.
So like dinosaur
2
kangaroo.
meters, an enormous wombat called Diprotodon that weighed about
Oh.
2,000 kilos, and Megalania, which
Did
was
you
a
say 2,000
ginormous, weighed about
kilos?
2,000 kilos,
What? It was the size of a bus?
That's so big.
and Megalania, which was a ginormous 5-meter lizard. Imagine that waiting for you in the garage.
Meters, dang.
Ugh. But about 50,000 years ago, all of these animals started to die out. Now, there's still a debate as to why this happened, whether it was hunting or global warming, or more likely a combination of both, but that's a different story. Over the years, Australia's climate became progressively drier and more arid. Plus, we didn't really have any
wasn't as dry in the
volcanoes or
past.
earthquakes to bring in fertile soil, and so Australia became a pretty tough place to live. One theory is that only animals that didn't use much energy and didn't need heaps of food were able to survive. And so marsupials were able to make some pretty nifty adaptations, like hopping on two legs and shrinking in size to save energy, or changing their teeth to suit the food here. They did have one advantage, and that was a lack of big predators hunting them down. I mean, there was one cat-like predator, the Thylacoleo, and also a carnivorous kangaroo, but they died out with the megafauna.
Carnivorous kangaroo.
And then there was the thylacine, the world's only marsupial wolf, which was wiped out on the mainland when dingoes arrived 4,000 years ago.
Now the dingoes
Oh,
are
yeah.
out there.
And there's these guys too. But compared to the rest of the world, it's far from a carnivore carnival. So basically, Australia's been doing its own thing for a very long time.
That's so interesting.
Completely
I mean, you can see why Australians are like, our animals aren't that. Even though there's so many poisonous and venomous things, I can see why they say our animals aren't that dangerous. When's the last time you heard of somebody dying from a spider bite?
There's not many apex predators or whatever.
No
There's a lot of-
grizzlies.
There's just a lot of like small things that could like inflict a lot of pain in you, but like and like hunting you down.
The like, it's scary to hear about like the blue ring octopus and the box jellyfish and the most venomous spiders.
The like
snakes.
taipan or whatever it is, the crazy snake.
Lots of stuff like that, and people get freaked out about it. But no grizzly bears,
No,
no polar bears,
no.
no lions.
You're not getting your head eaten off by something, probably, unless with a crocker.
Yeah, there's the crocodiles. Those are pretty scary, actually.
Devised. And that's made us a living laboratory of evolution's coolest and quirkiest concoctions. Way to go, evolution. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked
Yeah, that is very interesting. So, how like common is like or are crocodiles? From what I've heard, they're mostly up north
Yeah.
in the tropical areas, but do they
Darwin.
come down by Sydney or places
Yeah.
like that, the Gold Coast?
And are they just like chilling in the outback? Like, can they get very
Yeah.
deep in there?
I assume there's got to be rivers that go down, isn't there? That
I
they
don't
get
know.
swim up?
I don't know. Yeah, that's very, very interesting. And then, I mean, they have the snakes and spiders and stuff, but are those also like regional? Australia's very, very large.
Yeah. Because everyone just kind of, I feel like outside of Australia, everyone just kind of thinks like Melbourne, Sydney is like all of Australia. That's what everyone thinks about, like that area. But what's it like over in Perth? Are there different animals in Perth?
And then I'm also still confused. What's the difference between a kangaroo and a wallaby? Is it just a smaller one? The wallabies
The
are smaller
wallabies
ones?
are like gray.
Yeah.
So
Are they like cousins?
they gotta be cousins. I don't know. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed. This is really interesting because when we come to Australia, and we're kind of in the works of planning something in Australia, well, what's the best time for weather? Because if we end up showing up in like January or February, is it going to be like unbelievably hot?
Let us know when the best time is to go. We want to go to a lot of different places. So the best like overall weather for the whole country.
Where's a good place to see animals?
Yeah,
Stuff like
nature.
that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.